Hey guys, it's Ross Tritipo with Citrus Scrub Carpet Cleaning here in sunny Indianapolis today. It's actually nice out for once. And I got done with work a little early today, so my options were Netflix and chill, but that's kind of awkward when you're home by yourself. Or I could make a quick video for you guys and show you how my water softener is hooked up. I thought maybe you'd appreciate that better. So here is the water softener right there. It's an on-the-go water softener. That's the brand name, and I manually regenerate this. There is no mechanism up there that does an automatic regeneration every once in a while. I have to do it myself. There's no brine tank, which is a huge advantage. I don't have to worry about salt water sloshing around in the back of my van as I road rage. So here's how it's all hooked up. That's the garden hose there. So when I need water, I hook this up to a spigot outside, obviously. Water goes all the way through this hose. It comes out through this side of the reel. It comes through this hose here. Sorry, I got my camera kind of mixed up there. All right, there we go. Comes through this hose here, and it comes all the way up through this shutoff valve into the water softener. Hopefully that makes sense. Then the water travels through the water softener and it comes out the other side. As you can see, I've got a Y there. So the bottom part of the Y is the fill hose. And 99% of the time, that's where I'm routing water. See how I've got these marked? So my fill hose I've got on. This top hose is the recharge hose, which is turned off right now. See how I can turn those on and off? So the recharge hose is off, the fill hose is on. So the water normally comes through the fill hose. I've got it set up where it kind of routes through the van wall there just to keep all the hoses out of the way and halfway decent looking. That's the fill hose that comes out of the van wall, and it goes into the autofill system of the Butler, which I'm not going to explain because if you don't have a Butler, it's not going to mean anything to you. And it comes up through the autofill system, through this braided line that goes across the top of the van ceiling and then drops down into the water tank right there. So that's how I get fresh water into the fresh water tank. Now when I want to regenerate this thing, which has turned out to be about every 3.5-4 weeks, I have to regenerate it. I still run water through the garden hose. It's going to go into the water softener as normal. But I am going to put salt in this tank, and I don't want salt water in my fresh water tank. So that means I've got to turn the fill hose off. That keeps the salt water from getting into my fresh water tank. And I turn the recharge hose on. And then I take this cap off, this guy right here, and you've got to get a little bit of excess water out of the softener tank because you need room to fit 4 26-ounce canisters of just regular old Morton's table salt. Is going to go right down the hatch, right down underneath this cap. When you take the cap off, there's a big hole there, and you just pour the salt right down that hole. You need room for the salt to fit in there. So I have to drain a little water out of this tank. I won't explain how I do that. It involves all kinds of crazy contraptions, but it's super easy, and I can answer those questions later if anybody cares. So then my recharge hose also kind of routes through the van wall here and comes out here. I tuck it back there just to keep it out of the way. So your recharge hose, you can just run down a sink if it's a cold day and you're doing this inside, or you can just throw it on the ground. And now I'm going to have the water coming out that recharge hose. But you don't want full flow. The thing that recharges those resin balls inside the softener is the salt. Cleans all the minerals off the resin balls. And you don't want to just flush the salt right away because then it doesn't have a chance to do its job. So you just trickle water out of this recharge hose until it's coming out about the width of a pencil, if that makes sense. So how do I control the flow? How do I make sure that I'm getting just the width of a pencil? All right, well, let's go look. It'd be easier if we go back this way. What I do is I stand outside the van out here on the ground, outside the side door, and I reach my arm around to this valve here, the shutoff valve, and I just kind of tweak this with my thumb until I've got the flow of water coming out the recharge hose out there until it's about the width of a pencil, and it's super easy. And then you let that water trickle through there like that for about an hour. And after that, just to make sure you have all the salt flushed out, then you turn it on full flow. Then I open this all the way and let it run for an additional 10 minutes. So really, it takes probably from start to finish, the whole process takes about an hour and a half. So you're probably thinking, that sucks. Who wants to spend an hour and a half recharging this thing when they have automatic softeners that recharge themselves? Well, I don't like those because you have a finicky mechanism up here that requires constant tweaking and maintenance to keep it working right. You've got to have a brine tank somewhere down here, and then inevitably it'll overfill. The switch inside won't work, the top falls off, whatever, and you've got an overflow of salt water all over the inside of your beautiful clean van. And you come the next day and everything's rusty and covered in salt crystals. So I just don't want to mess with that. Every Monday morning, I come to the shop, I clean out my van, I do maintenance, and about every 3 or 4 weeks, that is when I recharge the water softener, because I'm already here working on the truck anyway. It's not really a big deal. I don't have to spend additional time, I'm already here. And now I don't have to mess with the salt tank, I don't have to mess with the finicky mechanism up here. Plus, this setup was super cheap. The softener tank is about $400 from On The Go. I think I ordered it from Amazon, if I remember right, and shipping was free. Then you've got maybe another $100 worth of fittings and hose. And then I also ordered this water stand here. That was about $100. So I think after shipping and tax and fittings and the tank itself and all that, you could get this set up for maybe $500-600, something like that. So if you think that's a lot of money, I just want you to go online and look up how much a truck mount water softener system usually costs, and then tell me if you think my setup is worth it. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will smell you guys later.